Hello traders, and welcome back to BloomFX. I am Mari and I just finished to do the weekly analysis and I said to share them here with you. And now we start with Euro JPY and we have here the weekly chart. And if you remember, as I said on the 9th of January, Euro JPY has reached the trend line formed in the last 12 years from which it rejected, okay? And now judging by the pattern made in all these years, I expect the pair to keep the downward trend and in the coming weeks to test again the value of 120,900 or even 118, okay? And however, I will wait for the market to open and to enter the sell at the first close over 1 day under 127. Next week we are still counting on a massive descent, and now I can say that I'm waiting for a corrective movement for at least of 100, let's say 150 pips, and after it will continue to go down. Okay, good. If you want to take this trade, please, you need a confirmation, okay, before entering into this one and in all the trades. Let's go further to Euro USD, and for Euro USD I will wait for the market to open and I will enter with a sell at the first closing of the pair below 1.22 and if it closes above 1.22 in the next week, even for 1 day, I will look for a buy until the zone of 125, where I will take a sell again until the zone of 1.15. Now I am waiting for a corrective movement to the area of 1.21600, and there it comes down to the Fibonacci 618, and here we have the 618. From there we will make some new analysis, okay? And please have a note that this pair may be influenced in the short term by any news about the vaccine or Brexit, okay? And don't rush to go into a trade, only if you have confirmation. If you don't have confirmation, then you don't do it. Let's continue with the USD GPY. For USD GPY, if you remember, as I said, USD GPY, it's in a strategic area where it has rejected many times in the recent history, and here you have the trend line, and even if it closed below the trend line, we believe that the dollar will not fall more than this area, where it's possible to rise in the next period. USD GPY rejected from the trend line, as I said, if you remember, okay? And I'm waiting for a little correction movement, and then for the price to continue to go up, maybe to retest again this trend line. Okay, so wait for a confirmation at least on the 1 day. Let's go to Euro AUD. For Euro AUD, let's say that it started a different down movement, okay, since the beginning of the last year, when it closed up to nearly, I think it was 4,000 pips, and now in the next week I will bet on a corrective movement of at least 300 pips to the Fibonacci area of 618, okay, which is here, and then we will do again some other analysis. If it closed even for 1 day over the Fibonacci level of 618, then I will continue with a buy, and if he rejects, I will follow for a sell up to the Fibonacci level of 786. Okay, so keep an eye on this pair if you are trading it. Let's continue with the Euro Swiss franc, and again also for this pair, if you remember, as I said, the Euro Swiss franc has climbed and reached to the resistance zone formed in the last year, and considering that, we think that the pair will make a range in this area from where it will descend again towards of 1.68. Euro Swiss franc rejected from the Fibonacci level of 618, which is here, and we expect a little correction and then to go down again. Now I think it will make a range on this area of about, I don't know, let's say 30 or 40 pips, okay, where it makes a corrective move to the Fibonacci 0.5 or even to 618 and then to go down again. So wait for the market to give you a direction before going into a trade, okay? And for Euro GBP, as I said, Euro GBP will make a corrective move to the Fibonacci 0.5 area or maybe 618, which after it will go up again. Now close it below the Fibonacci 0.5. You see here we have the Fibonacci 0.5. What makes me watch for a sell up to the level 6 of the Fibonacci level of 618. However, on the daily closure over Fibonacci 0.5 will make me look for a buy for a minimum, let's say 150 pips, something like that. Okay, but please have a note that this pair may be influenced in the short term by any news about the vaccine or Brexit. Okay, before going into a trade, let's go further to Euro CAD. For Euro CAD, again, as I said before, we'll make a corrective move to the Fibonacci 0.5 area or maybe to 618 Fibonacci area, after which it will go up again. Now close it below the Fibonacci level of 618. Okay, it makes me watch it for a sell until the Fibonacci 786, not before making at least, let's say, 50 or 60 pips. Okay, the corrective move, and on the daily closure over 618 Fibonacci will make me look for a buy for a minimum 150 pips. So wait at least one day for a confirmation. And again, please have a note that this pair may be influenced in the short term by any news about the vaccine, and you have to wait for a confirmation before going into a trade. Let's go to GJ. As I said, with GJ also close it over the 786 Fibonacci level, which cancelled my idea for a moment to have a sell. Now I will follow this idea, probably a little withdrawal, and then it will go down again. Now I am waiting for the price to come to this area and then to reject it and then to have the confirmation for a sell. let's go to GU. GBP USD. GBP USD rejected 4 weeks in a row from the resistance formed in the last 3 years, and will continue it to climb to the next support. However, only for 1 day closure below level 1.35600 will make me sell it for at least let's say 130 pips, and then to go up again. But please have a note that this pair may be influenced in the short term by any news about the vaccine or Brexit, okay? Because here we have the GBP. Let's continue with the gold. And with gold, as I said before, rejected from the Fibonacci level 618. Now I'm repeating what happened because it really happened what I said, okay? And exceeded to our expectation. We gave 1824 to 1874. For the next period, we expected to make a range until this area and then to continue to climb to the area of 1923 and 1983. Now gold arrived in the area of 1960, from where the NFP came down to Fibonacci area of 618. You remember we had the NFP news. Now I will follow this idea, probably a little withdrawal and then to go up again. Now I'm waiting for the price to do something like this, and then for the price to shoot up again. If you want to trade this pair, please do it only if you have any confirmation, okay? Now I want also to give also some other analysis that I couldn't post them on the trading view because there are too many and you cannot post more than I think 10 a day. And I still have, starting with Euro New Zealand, and for Euro New Zealand, as I said before, close it in the trend line and in resistance formed in the several years, and I will wait for a closure even for 1 day over the trend line, and I will buy it for at least 150 pips, okay? Keep that in mind. And if it closes below the trend line, I will look for a buy to the next strong resistance. Now I will follow this idea and probably a little withdrawal and then to go up again, okay? If you have the confirmation going into this trade. Let's go to GBP AUD. For the GBP AUD, again, as I said before, GBP UAD has rejected from the trend line and will climb to the Fibonacci 0.5 area, or even more, to go more up to 618, okay? From where GBP AUD rejected exactly from the Fibonacci 0.382, okay, and tested the trend line again. A closure even 1 day over the trend line makes me buy it for at least, let's say, 300-400 pips. Now I will follow this idea and probably a little withdrawal and then to go up again. So wait for this formation to have a confirmation, and then you can have this trade. GBP Swiss franc. For this one, I can say that it rejected and closed it below the Fibonacci level of 618, and here we have the 618, okay? From here I will wait for a rejection and the closure even for 4 hours on the Fibonacci 618, and then I will look for a sell for at least, let's say, I don't know, 400 pips. But please have a note that this pair may be influenced in the short term by any news. Okay, so wait for the confirmation here. Let's continue with the USD CAD, and the USD CAD approached the trend line format and respected for more than 10 years. Okay, and this is I said on the 9th of January, if you remember. And the rejection and the closure even for 1 day over the trend line makes me buy it for at least 250, let's say 300 or 350 pips. Okay, and now I will follow this idea, probably a little withdrawal, and then to go up again. Okay, USD Swiss franc is right here. Let's have a look. And rejected again from the trend line format and respected for more than 10 years, and a rejection and a closure even for 1 day over the trend line, and the support makes me to have a buy for a minimum of 300 or 400 pips. And again I said that I will follow this idea and probably a little withdrawal and then to go up again. Wait for the price to give you a formation similar like this one, and then you can have a buy. AUD USD. For AUD USD, I can say that it's approaching to the trend line format and respected more than 10 years. Rejection and a closure even for 1 day over the trend line, and the support makes me sell it for at least 300, 400, 450 pips. Now I will follow this idea and probably a little withdrawal, and then the price to come down. So wait for the price to reject from this area to have the confirmation, and then you can have a sell. AUD GPY. For AUD GPY has closed it over again in the area of a strong resistance formed in the last 5 years. A rejection and a closure even for 1 day over the resistance line makes me sell it for at least 300 pips, okay, or 350 pips. Now I will follow this idea and probably a little withdrawal, and then to go down again. Okay, going in to this trade only if you have the confirmation. AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand. Read up exactly what I said in the last week, and rejected from the Fibonacci 0.5, if you remember. I think that I said it again on the 9th of the January. And now I will wait to see if he rejects from here, and I will have a sell again. If it closes even for 1 day over the Fibonacci 0.5, I will have a buy up to the Fibonacci 618. Okay, you have here all the Fibonacci's, and you can read them. Okay, and now rejected from the Fibonacci 618, which is here, and I'm looking for a sell for at least 500 pips. So waiting for the price to reject from here, and then boom, have a sell. And let's have a look also for the last pair, which is CAD JPY. And for CAD JPY, I can say that if you remember what I said on the 10th of January, CAD JPY has overcome to the Fibonacci level of 618 level, and now it's going to 786. And the rejection and the closure before 786 Fibonacci, even for 1 day, I have to give him a sale of 200 or 300 pips. Okay, and now I will follow this idea, probably a little withdrawal, and then to go down again. So I'm waiting for the price to go a little bit up to reject from this level of 786 of Fibonacci, and then to have a sell. Please have a great attention that our analysis have an accuracy of over 80% due to the market manipulation during this period, and we will avoid putting exactly stop losses. Okay, we also recommend avoiding short term during this period, because news can appear at any time that can destabilize the market. And please don't forget that this is just a trend line analysis, and please give a like and a share if these ideas are helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching.